So we are back once again as we wrap up our web series for 2019. I'm Keegs, and alongside me is Pastor J of Hope City, the new church plant, helping persons to find their hope in Christ regardless of what they face. Come as you are, no perfect people allowed. Alright? So you've been spending week upon week with you all, having the conversations with Hope City, and this week is no different. As we start to wrap up 2019, we're at that point in time where we know we've started to take stock of what has happened. We may not do it each and every day as we maybe should, just to kind of take note of what is happening and keep things on track. But something about the end of the year just gives us that sense of urgency where we stop, we take a look back, and then we start to plan for the year ahead, alright? But Pastor J, I know you especially, right? You feel like persons rob themselves of properly finding a way to find that new start, right? So now as we get into the conversation, help me, right? How do we go about getting that new start?
Well, I think first off, I think people like to knock, setting goals and stuff like that. I would say use the momentum of a new year. Whatever works for you, go with it. You know what I mean? Because there's no universal template for us to achieve what we want to do. So whatever works for you. So I love capitalizing on new starts. My faith is one of a new start. So everything about this, I love it. So, but where I see people miss it, I think a lot of people are trying to go into a new year with all these beautiful plans, want to have a better version of themselves, whether health-wise, but right?
Yeah. New year, new me.
Yeah, correct. But the thing about it is, you won't be a new person, but you're working with your old image.
Right.
So for me, a lot of people are trying to go into the new year, but they're not dealing with the past.
Okay.
It gets, and so for me, that has been the challenge that I've seen, even in my own life. I start the new year, and it's like, it's almost you're being naive that it's a new year, but yet you still have to deal with all the same people, the same issues, the same challenges. So unless you really deal with your past for 2019, and some people bringing in stuff from even before 2019, right? You're not going to give yourself a chance.
It's more than just a phrase. The new year, new me. It's more than just words.
Yes, sir.
Right, you have to put some action. So because like I say, we're going from 2019 into 2020. Right. But some people still have the 2018 that they told with them and they bring into 2019 and they still didn't deal with it. And now the compound and the pile on 2019 on top of it now. And we heading into 2020.
And they have all our
and God forbid, we just going and pile on 2020 on top 2019 and 2018 and the way just gets heavier. So how do we know, knowing that, alright, so we stop for a moment and we really reflect and we look back and we realize, wait, I really still have some 2018, maybe even some 2017 with me here now.
Even further back.
Yeah. And we want to move forward. How do we now get rid of that baggage? How do we just get off of our shoulders and be able to, just lighten the load to move on now to 2020?
So I would say, first thing, and this might sound real simple, but I don't want people to miss it. You have to confront your past. So I would say this way, avoidance is not a solution. I have seen things through my years, like working with church and all that, and just dealing with people, that a lot of people are afraid of that conflict. Let's just say one of the issues that they had in 2019 is maybe a relationship that kind of broke down, and so I see a lot of people avoid the hard conversations rather than get into the trenches and deal with whatever the real issues are. You get what I'm saying? So when I say, we gotta be willing to confront these things, I see, and I'm sure you would see it even in, maybe in your own life, but in people around you, where people would rather keep a good face on rather than...
sometimes it's not even like conscious, it's not even purposeful. It's almost like a self-defense mechanism, you kind of just, you don't deal with it, even though it wasn't really your decision, it's almost like your brain just decided for you that,
To avoid it, yeah.
that we don't even go through this now. And,
For real.
you know, later on, it finally hits you at sometimes the most inconvenient times. Right? So I understand how difficult it could be.
You know, I didn't even consider that part.
You know?
Like it being automatic.
Yeah,
you're right.
You really had to take that moment now to try and figure out what have you been avoiding without even trying to avoid it.
But you know what? One of our early episodes, I said here that's why we need community.
Yeah.
You need to have the right people around you to see when you going in a automated state,
Exactly.
avoiding something.
Yeah.
So no, that actually is good.
Right? Sometimes you even just need somebody to just ask you.
For real.
You sure everything good?
You sure?
And then you say, yeah.
And then you actually you force the process. Yeah.
Right. So we confronted, but then after we confront it, now what's the next step? We facing it now, and we in it. What's the next step?
I think so. When I say confront, you ought to confront. Let me just close that part off with just say you ought to be willing to realize and understand. Confronting or moving on with something doesn't mean it fits. So when we said confront, it's not the door going with
solving it necessarily,
but you just had to confront it.
Acknowledging that
Yes.
it is alright.
Right? Too many people walk around with that chip on the shoulder kind of thing, and like you say, keep at it. Yeah, so I don't want to sell people the wrong idea that when you confront everything wrong, be good. No, it's just really you have to get a feeling that give yourself permission to move on. People heal in different spaces as well. So you may be able to move on and they still have a process, that's okay.
Yeah.
Let them, it doesn't mean everything gets good all the time. Yeah. The next thing I think people have to look at is not just the negative sides of things that you have to confront, but I think there's the good things in your life that become something that is not so good. So let me just give you an example. That's the best way I can explain.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I know that. When I say it, I was like, okay, that didn't go too good. But so check this, right? You know the challenges I have with my son. Special needs. Throughout this year, when I look at it, there are seasons in my life where I have grabbed onto him and his development and try to provide the most for him, give him the best opportunities to learn and to try and develop. I have taken it upon myself to sacrifice time, whether it be with sleep, other areas of my life. And now that's a good thing. I'm a father. I am supposed to look after my son. But then it became unhealthy when I kept doing it in my own strength. So here's how I'll use a sport time word that taking care of my son became an idol in my life. Because that came before even sometimes my time with God. But not only that, my trust came away from God to take care of my son. Yes, I'm doing everything I do, but I had to trust God to do what I can't do. And my trust became in my own strength. So something good as taking care of my son, which I would always do, became something that was not good. Because I started to take the path where God's supposed to be. I had to be trusting God, and also it started to affect the rest of my life. So even with my daughter, even with my wife, when I get frustrated with the situation around my son, they have good days and then have days when I'm like, God will come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, work with me here, doing everything I could. I have those days, and so it's looking at the negatives that we say to confront, but also the positives that
could always turn
into something.
Don't
make good things ultimate things in your life.
Don't make good things ultimate things.
God is the only ultimate that we have to have in our life.
I really wouldn't ever think of it like that, sir. I really would not have realized that the good things are supposed to be there.
God gave it us,
could actually turn into the things that as you say, just become an idol in our lives, right? So your own situation, and as you explained it, I could understand how it could turn into that. Right. Because it is your son. As a father, you feel passionately about it. You want to do all that you could. You want to give him the best, right? And then now realizing that things kind of took that turn down another road, right? How do you now come from that space, right, to make that good thing a good thing again?
Right, to correct the thing. So the first thing, so for that process, the first thing I had to do was honestly just repent to God. I had to go to God and just say, hey, sorry, I have made this thing something more than you. And that takes us into the third step, which we'll jump into, but to address that, I had to put the right priority in your life. For me, my faith, my walk with God has to be above everything and everyone else. And while I'm in it with Him, He helps me to love and serve the people He has given me. My wife, my kids, my mom, my dad, like the family. It's through Him then. Those things come more alive then. And so, in my own strength, I could only take it down. So the first thing that I would say when you find that you have something good that you made your ultimate thing, go back to God. Man, and just starting. So for me, the next step in letting go of your past, when you deal with confronting the negative as well as the positive, you gotta make it right. So it didn't stop with me just saying, God, I'm sorry for what I've done here. There's a story in Luke 19 of Zacchaeus. He was a sinner, a tax collector, taking money from people, his own people and stuff. God comes and touches his life. He encounters God, and then he says to himself, you know what? I will go and pay back everybody, even up to 4 times what I took from them. Yeah. I'm not saying you are going to do that. What I'm saying is that when you encounter God, so when I said sorry to God about what I did with my son, here's how I have to make it right. I started spending intentional time with my daughter because she was being neglected. Yeah. Because all my mental, emotional, all my efforts was behind my son, which he needs a lot of it. But I did not realize in that time I was missing little opportunities growing up with my wife and other family and friends and stuff. And so so I had to make it right. And so letting go of your past, you gotta confront it. You gotta let go of the idols, the good things that we make ultimate things. Third thing, you gotta make it right. Whatever that means. I'm not telling you how you are doing.
Everybody gonna have their own situations, and that's what you say. It may not be the same thing as his, right? But you need to look at your own lives and understand, right? See what you need to confront, see what you need to let go of, and then make it right. Correct. Beautiful message as we hear now, and we look to end our web series for 2019. You want to close us off with anything? Talk to people now?
Yeah, just want to wish everyone a great new year. Blessings to you all. Make it right. Go into the new year with a fresh start. And no better fresh start in Jesus Christ.
Yes, man. So, here at Hope City, once again, happy 2019, and hope to see you all in 2020.
Okay.